Hello, this is Cathy Cassidy and I'm here to read you another chapter of Angel Cake. It's chapter 24 and we see the dramatic scene of what happens when Anya and Dan speak to each other after Anya catches him kissing Lily Caldwell on the dance floor. So very dramatic, very upsetting. And I don't know if you can see from the picture at the top of the chapter, but it's angel wings lying in a puddle. So here we go. I don't notice anything after that. I push past Mr. Fisher, shove my way through to the cloakroom, grab my coat, and then I'm outside running across concrete that glints with frost down towards the school gates. Anya! I don't want to hear anything he has to say. What's the point? It's all lies. I know that now. I was kidding myself all along. It's not as if people didn't warn me. Frankie told me to be careful. Lily warned me off. Even Dan himself admitted he was trouble right from day one. I thought I knew better. I believed in Dan. That was my big mistake. Anya, wait! I can explain! He's behind me, his feet slapping against the concrete as we reach the gate. He catches hold of my sleeve and I spin round to face him, furious. It wasn't the way it looked, he says, and I think of another night in town with Dan, Ben, Nate and Kasha, when a man with dark skin and slanting cheekbones said exactly those same words. I didn't believe them then, either. Anya, please, it meant nothing. My breath comes in burning gasps and my cheeks are streaked with tears. It meant something to me, I tell him, and my hand flies out to drag a handful of white feathers from the angel wings. I want to hurt Dan the way he's hurt me. Some angel you are. Leave me alone, Dan. You're just like your dad. Dan's eyes widen and he opens his mouth to protest, but nothing comes out. His eyes harden and his face shuts down and he shrugs off the feathered wings and lets them fall to the ground. Then he turns and walks away from me, and I'm glad. I never want to see him again. It's just past 10 when I get back to the flat. Kasha, on the mend now, is sitting at the table with Mum and Dad eating toast made from Tesco value bread. Mum looks up, alarmed. Anya, she asks, we didn't expect you back for another hour. Is everything okay? I've wiped the tears away, tried to tidy my makeup, but when I catch a glimpse of my reflection in the mirror on the wall, I can see how I look windswept and weary and sad. The music was rubbish, I tell them. We left early. Well, Dan and I did, anyhow. We just didn't leave together. But it was your special night, Mum argues. I know, I just wasn't in the mood. Besides, it's Christmas Eve tomorrow. I want to be home. I sit down at the table, take a piece of toast. The bread is not as nice as the rye bread Mum makes, but it's cheaper than buying the ingredients to bake it. I scrape a knife around the empty jam jar, then go to the cupboard to see if there's any more. It's almost empty. A jar of sauerkraut, an apple, half a bag of flour. No jam, no honey. I'll shop tomorrow, Mum promises. We'll still have our special meal tomorrow night, traditional. We'll make things as nice as we can, even though... She looks at Dad and he looks at the tabletop, guiltily. I have to go into work in the morning just for a little while, he says. I have a few things to do, but don't worry, this is the last time. Things will change now. So business is better, I ask. Dad looks uncomfortable. Tell them, Joseph, Mum says gently. Not better, Dad says. I've tried and tried, but ever since Yuri left, things have been getting worse and worse. Problems, debts, complaints. I can't make it work. My savings are gone. It's time to stop. Tomorrow, I'll clear the office. The business is over. Kasha flings her arms around Dad. Never mind, Tata, she says. It's almost Christmas Eve. Maybe Santa will bring you a new job. I asked him to fix everything up and he said he'd see what he could do. I blink. So that's what took Kasha so long at at the grotto. She wasn't asking for dolls and games and sweets. She was asking for a miracle. How do you explain to a 7-year-old that there are some things Santa just can't fix? Dad tries. Kasia, I wish it could be that simple. I haven't forgotten what Dad said would happen if the business failed. How could I? Mum sighs. It's not good news, really, girls, she says brightly. Oh, it is good news, really, girls, she says brightly. No more nasty flat, no more struggles with the language. Things just haven't worked out for us here. We're going back home, back to Krakow. Kasia pulls away. No, she says, I like it here. I like school and my friends, my teacher. I'm the best in my class at art, Miss Green says. Oh, Kasia, Dad says, I'm sorry. We cannot stay. No jobs and no money. Not even enough for rent, for food. It's all gone. Gran and Grandad are sending us money for airfares, Mum explains. We'll have the cheque by New Year, maybe sooner, and we'll go right away. We can stay with them until we get back on our feet, find a flat of our own. No, Kasia argues, we can't. I want to go back to school. How will I see my friends, say goodbye to them? We'll be gone before the term starts, Dad says. It's better this way. Do we have to go, I plead. Kasia and I, we're settled at school. We have friends. Our English gets better every day. I'm sorry, Anya, Dad says. We have no choice. No choice. Kids have no choice. Kids like me and Kasia, uprooted and brought halfway across Europe to start from scratch because Dad had a dream. And now that the dream has crashed, we will be uprooted again, torn away from our friends and taken back to where we started. Are we supposed to pick up our old life again 3 months on as though nothing has come in between? If I'd listened to Dan, we could be running now away from Liverpool, from peeling wallpaper and stolen boots and cheap white bread with no butter or jam. But I didn't listen, and I should be glad, because Dan let me down, trampled all over my heart and walked away into the night. Maybe it's just as well I'm going back to Krakow. I don't believe that, though, not for a moment. Even with Dan out of the picture, Liverpool is where I want to be. It was my dream too, after all. I want to stay, work on my English, be with my friends, see whether the picture postcard cottage with the roses round the door actually exists. I want to stay. I asked Santa, Kasia argues, St. Nicholas. He promised, and I have been good, very good, so definitely he will fix it. You'll see. I can't sleep. An hour ago, Kasia crawled into bed with me, her face wet with tears, her arms twined around me, and we stayed that way, me stroking her hair, until she drifted into sleep. 3 months ago, I was packing to come to Liverpool, full of hopes and dreams that fizzled and died in the relentless British drizzle. I hated Liverpool at first, but that was before I got to know it. Now I can see it has a crumbling kind of beauty, a chaotic warmth, a crazy, quirky heart, and I will miss it. I'll miss Frankie and Kurt too. I will even miss Dan. My mind slips back to the dance, replaying those scenes, those words, Dan Carney and Lily Caldwell. It doesn't make sense. It's like the worst ever betrayal, the sharpest cut. I got Dan so wrong, but still, I will miss him. I'll miss him and I will never, ever forget him. I wish I hadn't told Dan he was like his dad. I saw his face crumple with hurt, and for a split second I was glad. Now, though, I'm not so sure. Hurting someone who has hurt you doesn't make you feel better. Sometimes it makes you feel worse. Kasia stirs and stretches, and I sigh, my heart dull and heavy in my chest, my eyes dry and aching with unshed tears. Somewhere around 2 o'clock, I think I hear a bicycle bell outside, and I run to the window. There's nobody there, of course. So things are getting very sad and very, very kind of, yeah, it's impossible to know what's going to happen next and how Anya can get herself out of this awful situation. So you're just going to have to tune in tomorrow to find out the next chapter and see what happens next on Christmas Eve. So take care and listen up. Keep smiling until then.